Just thought I'd do a quick video on the A1. I've done a couple of videos trying to do a little comparison between these two, and to be honest, they're both pretty good. I've seen a lot of people saying that they get some layer shift on these as you get taller. I've not done anything really tall. I did do that mask there, which for the most part was okay. Obviously needs a bit of finishing work on it. I'm not at that level on finishing yet, but I just thought I'd share this. Interesting, but many people might not think of it. So if you're thinking of getting like a P1S or a X1 Carbon or an A1, A1's obviously cheaper, but because it's a bed slinger and it's open, it doesn't have the enclosure like the X1. It means you have to keep your room temperature at a certain temperature. Sorry, excuse all the mess, I'm building a Pit Droid on the X1. But doing this Death Star pumpkin, I did a little experiment last night, not the end of the world, but I let my garden office workshop go down quite low. I let it go down to 12 degrees, which is alright, it's normally fine, but I did notice this. See, a bit of the quality dropped off there then. I mean, it's not enough that spoils it. The outside is okay, a few marks on it. It's not perfect. Still pretty decent though. This is PLA plus. The SUNLU stuff works a bloody treat in these, it prints great. But yeah, so you can see a bit of that. But everything else, where I've maintained a temperature of around about 20, 22, is printed great. So that is something to keep in mind, that you should keep a consistent temperature, and then when you get your settings right for that temperature, stick to it. So if you're buying one of these and your temperature's up and down, you might notice that difference. It's really obvious when you think about it, but if you're struggling to decide which machine, then that's something to keep in mind, because this enclosure, it keeps a pretty consistent temperature. So for me, I still love this thing. Like, it's my little workhorse really. It does a lot. It's so much quieter than that, but that is quicker. So I still can't tell you one's better than the other. Depends on your purpose, your needs, but I'm just sharing it in case, you know, you're keen on this, but you can't maintain a certain temperature, or you're having some problems. Maybe it'll help you. Again, sorry about the mess. Pit Droid coming. Actually, sorry, fade to another thing. Another obvious thing, but you might not consider it. If you're having this in an office where you're working, I would not run it when you're actually in the office too much, or I wouldn't stay in here too long. You can really feel the fumes of it, like the melting plastic. I feel it in my chest, or I have felt it in my chest a couple of times. So I will only spend a few minutes in here now, and I'll leave it go overnight and things like that. I'm sure there is something on it. I haven't looked into it in any detail, but I imagine there's something from the fumes of this printing. But with the enclosed unit, it's got its filters and it does a good job. I can't tell at all with this. A bit noisier, but I do not smell anything. I do not feel it. So that is a consideration as well. But if you can just leave it and not be in the room all the time, or you've got good ventilation, then it's probably all right. Like in the summer, I probably wouldn't even notice it because I'd have the windows open. But in the winter, it's, you know, less so.